back once again. This is Chris Report, and he assured me that St. Simon's down in Boulders. Folks, this is Chris Wyatt reporting from South Africa. Hey folks, welcome back. We love our homes, and if you don't, pack your bags. You're free to go. Don't let the big door hit you where the good Lord split you. Wave goodbye to Joe. It's time to say goodbye to Joe. He's down to his last week of torturing the world. Goodbye to Joe. He's down to just 1 week left, less than that now, 1 hour away from being just 6 days to our national nightmare coming to an end. The man who single-handedly, well, not single-handedly, but certainly of much of his own efforts over the past 5 decades has done everything he can to betray this nation. The treasonous bastard himself, the dodgy old diaper-wearing, demented lunatic, will be leaving office in just a matter of days, and it is a great pleasure to see. Thank you and goodbye, Joe. Don't look back. Hit the road, Jack. We don't want you here anymore. Welcome tonight, folks. I do appreciate the handful of people tuning in on this clearly censored channel, which has only a few hundred more subscribers than my newer channel, which, when I do a live stream, regardless of what the topic is, gets 50 to 100 people. But here, with 21,600 subscribers, YouTube clearly is not notifying my subscribers, just 13 people here. And don't tell me it's the hour, because the subscriber base here is about 40% US-based, and so they're not getting notifications. Anyway, welcome back to the program, folks. I'm going to talk a little bit tonight about Joe's fantasies about his fantastic foreign policy. You might have noticed on the banner for this broadcast a few of Joe's more notable failures. Let me just find those very quickly here. I'm going to get to that. Africa Group. Come on. Here we go. There we go. So let me pull up that banner that I put. So on there, on that banner, hello, come here. There we go. Say goodbye to Joe. I've got the Afghanistan withdrawal on the top left-hand side. I've got the Ukraine carnage in the center, Bidenomics, which he was proud of on the bottom left-hand side, and on the bottom right-hand side, the inflation rate, which was averaging 7.9% annually, according to the government, which we all know was total bogus nonsense. That was never 7.9%. That might have been a single month. We saw the prices of everything in this country double almost overnight and rise even higher. The only thing that's come back down for the most part has been petrol. I will say this, the price of tires remain consistent throughout that 4-year period. I'm shocked at how they've remained consistent, but everything else has just been off the charts. Meanwhile, Joe Biden is running around doing a victory lap, claiming, first off, he claimed after Trump won the election, he was going to do everything he can to facilitate the transition. And in fact, he's done just the opposite. He's completely undermined the Trump administration at every turn, facilitating more and more money for the murder, the death, the carnage in Ukraine between Russia and Ukraine. Joe Biden's proxy war, his most significant accomplishment as president, the destruction in the lives of millions of Ukrainians and Russians, and billions of dollars of our money. Beyond that, the feckless foreign policy that led an emboldened, brazen Hamas to attack Israel and murder 1,200 people in vicious, brutal ways, and then take hostages. This sick, twisted sexual abuse and rapes, emboldened by Biden's incompetence, his incompetence over Myanmar, his incompetence over Cabo Delgado, over the Sahel, over Somalia, over Sudan, over Myanmar, over Russia, over Ukraine, over, oh my goodness, cables being blown up, the Nord Stream pipeline being blown up. It's unbelievable, the incompetence and failures. Record high inflation, record high interest rates, the destruction of the middle class, all on Joe Biden's watch. Meanwhile, he and his sycophants run around taking victory laps, claiming that they have the greatest presidency since the invention of the presidency. It's just total nonsense, folks. You can't believe it for a heartbeat. You can't believe it for a heartbeat. "54 minutes to surf the wave." Well, I won't be on that long. It's just intended to be a short one. I'm going to record a video about pit latrines in South Africa when I'm done with this, and that'll be on my channel. So I did do a Substack tonight, the first one ever. I did notice that the sound quality was poor off my mobile, so next time I'll try it with a Bluetooth microphone and see if that improves the sound quality. But anyway, not many people chatted on there. Just a handful of people saw it. So hopefully we'll get that to grow. Maybe I can grow my Substack channel with that. It also apparently posted on my YouTube channel. I gave that a shot and see what happens. What else we got here? So prepare and prevent instead of repair and repent. Exactly. So we got Tony Noj, Tony Nage. Hendo is here. Monray Siebertson from Cape Town. Pablo Charlie. Vilma Erasmus. Pablo Charlie from the Netherlands. Hendo is here. And things are getting tense. See what's happening. South Korea police are going to arrest the president. Trudeau is next, calling for war measures, active people. Oh, my goodness. Shawnee is here from Minnesota. Welcome to you. Sean Mandich is back. Sean, how's it going? And Chris Marie is here. Boy, there's some real night owls. I should do a proper night owls from the East Coast here for you guys. Anyway, let me get to the news I want to talk about here. Just a few things. First off, here's an opinion piece by Lawrence O'Donnell. It's by Michael Cohen on MSNBC. I have to read this because it's just comical, but let me show you what it looks like here. This is just beyond. I'm going to refute probably all this story if I can, but here we go. So, Biden's best foreign policy decision started with telling the truth. The U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan has already been vindicated by history. Vindicated? Vindicated? I don't think so. Amid the highs and lows of Biden's presidency, almost all were lows, one achievement stands out for both its importance and the lack of appreciation it's received. In August 2021, 20 years after U.S. troops first stepped foot in Afghanistan, long after America's vital national interests there had disappeared, Biden finally brought them home. Of all his foreign policy decisions, few brought Biden more grief than the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan, and few were more courageous or essential. No, neither was courageous or essential. By 2021, U.S. troops have been fighting and dying in Afghanistan for nearly 20 years. There were U.S. soldiers deployed to the country who were born after the September 11th attacks. Though Biden oversaw the withdrawal of U.S. troops, he was implementing agreements signed by his predecessor, the Doha Agreement. So if Biden was simply implementing an agreement negotiated by Donald Trump, then why is it one of the most significant decisions of Biden's presidency to actually follow through on it? Do you see how stupid these people are when they even try to make this stuff up? In April of that year, Biden announced he was deferring the final exit of U.S. troops by 3 months. Even after his military commanders urged the president to postpone the withdrawal further, he refused. Another delay ran the risk of renewed Taliban attacks on U.S. military targets, which had been suspended when the Afghan rebels signed the Doha Agreement. Are simply untrue. First off, there had not been combat death in 18 months. And he picked September 11th, intentionally telegraphing his departure. So that's just a lie. This guy, who is this? Michael Cohen is an idiot to say the least. Biden did something that eluded 3 previous presidents withdraw from Afghanistan. Yeah, well, Obama should have withdrawn from Afghanistan. Why didn't he? But Trump cleaned up the mess. When President Obama took office, pledging to devote more attention, he had few ideas on how to win the war. Against his wishes, Vice President Obama announced a 30,000 troop surge in December 2009. So he increased the war, Obama did. Yes. Anyway, this is just nonsensical, utter nonsense. So Politico reports that Biden says that his foreign policy gave Trump a strong hand. Excuse me? He defended his alliance-based foreign policy. What alliance-based foreign policy? Oh my goodness. President Joe Biden Monday defended his foreign policy record amid 2 major foreign wars that broke out under his watch, declaring that his 4 years in office strengthened America's position. Really? Reinvigorated alliances and left adversaries like China and Russia weaker than they were. Now, China's weaker not because of Donald Trump, or maybe because of Joe Biden. China's weaker because of the measures that Trump put in place and what COVID did to China. Not to mention its disastrous socialist leftist policies, which are just failed. Yes, guys, that's correct. This is the first time that they've gone after Elon Musk. They've gone after Elon Musk repeatedly, so this is not new. Suing Musk. Let me find that story. The Securities and Exchange Commission is suing him over Twitter acquisition days before they leave positions. Well, we knew this was going to happen. They've tried it before, and it will go nowhere. The Securities and Exchange Commission will have a new leader in a week, and it will just stop right there. So say goodbye to Joe. He's doing everything. Remember, he was going to facilitate and make a smooth transition, but every action has been intended to undermine, kneecap, and handicap the incoming Trump administration. But Politico says that Biden is just, he's claiming he's got this great foreign policy. Unbelievable. The United States should take full advantage of diplomatic geopolitical opportunities we've created to bring countries together to deal with challenges posed by China, to make sure that Putin's war ends in a just and lasting peace for Ukraine, and capitalize on the new moment for a more stable, more integrated Middle East. Except before Joe Biden, the Abraham Accords were signed, and peace broke out between Israel, Sudan, Morocco, the United Arab Emirates. Historic peace agreement, much of which remains in place despite Biden's efforts to destroy it. So Trump actually brought peace to the Middle East. Joe Biden allowed it all to fall apart. The Houthis. Trump also destroyed ISIS in 4 months, something Obama facilitated the growth of and then ignored for years and metastasized into a disaster for the Yazidis and for others in the region and Syrians. Yeah, so there you go. Trump ended conflict in the Middle East. There was no invasion of Ukraine. Let's see. Let's roll back the film and we'll watch George Bush president. Russia invades Georgia. Mess around Nagorno-Karabakh and other places in the Caucasus. Obama's president and Russia undermines and tries to destroy the banking system of Estonia. They invade the Donbass and annex the Crimea. Trump becomes president. Russia invades none of his neighbors. It undermines none of their economies, interferes in none of their foreign policy. And Trump leaves office. And 6 weeks after Trump leaves office, Joe Biden watches 60,000 Russian troops move to the borders of Belarus and Ukraine and says nothing, does nothing about it. No sanctions, no effort, no public castigation, no reporting on it. He simply ignored it. So Biden fueled the Ukraine conflict. Biden emboldened Hamas. Biden all but invited the Taliban to murder, rape, pillage, and take Afghanistan to the Stone Age. All Biden accomplishments. How do people not see this? It's beyond conception how they not see it. Unbelievable. Biden leaves office with U.S.-China relations in a far more stable, less confrontational place as a result of serious and sustained bilateral communications and with the country's two economies head in opposite directions. Okay, if you say so. Biden says his foreign policy leaves Trump with a very strong hand. He spoke to the State Department and just spun a fairy tale. 30-minute speech touched on dozens of issues on nearly every continent, from fraying alliances he said he encountered when he took offices. What fraying alliances? There were no fraying alliances. NATO was strong. The fact that Trump said that deadbeats had to pay their 2%, it was NATO before Trump was even president in 2014 because of Russia's invasion of Crimea and annexation of it. NATO members agreed politically to contribute 2% of their gross domestic product at a minimum towards national defense. When Trump came in office, less than 50% of NATO countries were achieving that. Less than 50%. And most of the ones who were achieving it were former Eastern Bloc countries who were terrified of Russia and therefore committing money to national defense. Whereas Germany was down to 0.7% of GDP. Canada, 0.9%. Canada today is only at 0.1.3. Germany is only at 1%. They're still not contributing. They're still freeloaders, and we're paying the price for it. We spend over 3%, 3.2% of our GDP on defense, while the scumbags north of the border get a free ride, Jussi Trudeau, and in Europe. What frayed alliance? When people don't do what they promise to do and you ignore it, you're a sucker. Joe Biden's a sucker. He didn't restore frayed alliance. He simply capitulated to the freeloaders in Europe. Even the Brits are freeloaders. They claim they spend 2% of GDP, but that's a lie. They count pensions, military pensions, as part of defense spending. It's not defense spending. In our budget, it comes out of the operating budget, but it sure doesn't count towards defense spending. We're well over that 2%. Biden offers the first draft of his foreign policy achievements. Let's see what he's going to claim. This is from CNN. He heralded his administration's actions, saying in an implicit critique of Trump that under his leadership, the United States is winning the worldwide competition compared to 4 years ago. America is stronger, our alliances are stronger, adversaries are competitors are weaker. We've not gone to war to make these things happen. No, we haven't gone to war. We simply funded the war so other people could die. It's cost us billions of dollars, trillions of dollars. That's what we've done. We've funded other people's wars, not gone to war. We didn't go to war when Trump was president, moron. Joe Biden is crazy. What war did Trump go to? He inherited Afghanistan. He inherited Syria and ISIS. He destroyed ISIS. Done and dusted. He prevented a war with North Korea. Yeah. So he negotiated withdrawal from Afghanistan. He ended the Iraq conflict. Trump ended wars. And Joe Biden acts like he's the one that did it? No. Dude, you simply took us to war in another fashion. Yep. He highlighted his efforts to bolster alliances. He's pointing to strengthen NATO. The partnerships in the Indo-Pacific are from the Trump era. Yeah. And the Obama era. The Australian base for the Marines, that was from before Biden was president. That's for damn sure. Yep. Oh, my goodness. He's just crazy. The guy's the lunatic. He's absolutely deluded. He said Iran is weaker than it's been in decades. No, it's not. If it was weaker, how is it funding Hamas and Hezbollah? So Michael Hirsch in Foreign Policy says Biden meant well. He's not admitting any errors, though he's clearly had his share. Oh, yeah, he's had plenty. He's had plenty. Yep. Here, this is a more accurate description. Biden repeatedly inflamed tensions with Beijing by coming closer than any other president, saying that he would defend Taiwan. True. Only to have his own administration walk these comments back. He often looked ineffectual in the Middle East, with what even his Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, conceded were many Lucy and football moments, a reference to the Peanuts cartoon, in which Biden repeatedly and incredulously allowed both Israel and Hamas to endlessly string along negotiations. When it came to the Israel-Hamas conflict in Gaza, Biden found himself in a state of continual self-contradiction over whether he should use real leverage, such as withholding U.S. weapons, in order to moderate Israeli behavior. Yeah. As a result, anti-American attitudes in the region are at a level not seen since the Iraq War. Yeah, that's the truth. Instead of these lies and fantasies being weaved by Democrats and by Biden, that's the true state of things. Yep. Much of the dysfunctional nature of Biden's foreign policy can be attributed to the fact that he had very few naysayers around him. Yeah, well, it definitely fell short. Yep. But he's claiming victory. So here it is, Foreign Affairs, which loves to trend, they claim centrist, but they do a lot of leftist stuff, claiming he failed on human rights. Sarah Yager in Foreign Affairs from January 14th. This just came out. Oh, I can't get to it. I can't see it. The article won't let me get there. I had a subscription to Foreign Affairs, but it won't let me get there. Joe Biden's final report card according to foreign policy on foreign policy. Well, I can't get to that one. That's behind a subscription wall, too. I got to tell you, it's getting frustrating, folks. Even the Washington Examiner, which I've been a source for multiple times, is now behind a paywall, so I can't even report on their news. I'm not paying every publication on the planet just so I can promote their articles. On his way out, Biden touts his Goldilocks foreign policy. Says America's better position according to U.S. News and World Report. No, it's not. Nope. So you're left with more impressionistic criteria. Are U.S. forces in a shooting war? Is the country waging a painful trade war? Are allies helping to advance our priorities? Are our rivals on their back foot? Is progress being made in global challenges like climate change? He said America's stronger, alliances are stronger, adversaries, competitors weaker. But that's just nonsense. South Africa's intentionally poked the bear in the eye, literally, supporting the Russian war in Ukraine outright. He says he's leaving the next administration with a very strong hand. He's delusional. Unbelievable. This guy has really lost it. Anyway. Yeah, the Securities and Exchange Commission is suing Elon Musk over his Twitter acquisition. For what? There's no basis to sue him. They approved. See, the SEC approved Elon Musk buying Twitter. So what are they suing him for? He couldn't buy it until they approved the deal. You see how demented this is? Sorry to get away from Biden, but Biden's SEC is suing Elon Musk over his acquisition of Twitter, a deal that they had to approve and did approve before he ever bought them. Unbelievable. Can you believe it? This is just shocking, to say the least. Shocking, to say the least. These people are something else. They really are, folks. I'm telling you. So Joe Biden will be remembered as the single worst president in the history of the United States. Hands down, there's no competition. Even Jimmy Carter can't be as bad as Joe Biden has been. He is a disaster. And forced Elon to carry through, but now they want to sue. Exactly. Goodbye to Joe. Anyway. Yeah, they can sue him all they want, but they're the ones that approved the deal, so what's going on with South Korea that's got you guys so upset? It's that's been a mess ever since, for about a year now. But it really became a mess when the president declared martial law, and it all went sideways when he backed out. Yep. When he backed out. So let me go check out the news on Elon Musk since you guys are talking about that. News? Musk. Joni Ernst says she will vote to confirm Pete Hegseth. Of course she will. It's all just for the cameras. All right, so let's see. Elon Musk. Let's see what they've got to say. Elon Musk. U.S. sues Elon Musk for allegedly failing to disclose early Twitter stock purchase. Well, you can't sue him for that. You can fine him for that. There's no lawsuit for that if he purchased and didn't report it. Financial regulator alleges Musk later acquired shares of company at artificially low prices, stiffing shareholders. U.S. financial regulator has sued Elon Musk for allegedly failing to disclose his ownership of Twitter stock and later acquiring shares of the company. Here's the problem with that. Twitter wasn't making money. How did he stiff investors? He paid a surcharge. He paid a overpriced stock he bought. Shareholders came out quite well in Twitter. SEC filed a suit against Musk on Tuesday in federal court for allegedly securities violations. According to the suit, he did not disclose that he acquired a 5% stake in the company in a timely manner, which allowed him to underpay at least $150 million for shares he purchased after his financial beneficial ownership report was due. SEC alleges it wasn't until 11 days after the report was due that Musk disclosed his ownership in Twitter. They're just demented. They're just going to try to distort him. But good luck with that. World is going to get right real quick. Enough is enough, or pay the price. Can Trump change any of Joe's last sign? Yes, he can wipe a whole bunch of them out because most of what he did was illegal. It was through an executive order, which he didn't have the authority to. Trump can just rescind the executive order. The 625 million acres of land is not legislated by law. He can just wipe that out just with the stroke of a pen. He can wipe out so many things with the stroke of a pen, and he will do that. January 20th is going to be such an epic day. Will the press cover it? And if they cover it, will they cover it honestly? We shall see. I'm not sure. I wouldn't hold my breath if they're going to cover it honestly. But yeah, Trump can reverse virtually everything that he's done in the past 60 days except for the pardons. He can't reverse the pardons. That's the only thing he can't reverse. The rest of it, it's all gone. It's just executive action. Much of it doesn't even legally apply to the country. It's just illegally, presidents do this crap all the time, Trump included. Signed executive order affecting the country, and they have no authority over the country. Their authority is exclusively over the executive branch. And nothing else. Nothing else whatsoever. Anyway, it is what it is. I know it's a trite phrase, but I wouldn't lose any sleep over it. Trump will be reversing the stuff come January 20th. The only concern I have is that in the last 7 days of Biden's administration, he will do something that will irrevocably harm this nation. The nonsense, starting a whole political argument that is going to be a complete waste of time and energy. If, for instance, he signed executive order declaring the implementation of the Equal Rights Amendment, which is a dead letter. That amendment ran its course and did not get passed because women don't deserve special rights. They get the same rights as the rest of us and nothing special. That's why the Equal Rights Amendment failed. Not because of misogynism. Nope. Not because of misogyny, I should say. Misogyny. Because of people shouldn't have special privileges. They should get the same rights as everyone else. All people are equal under the law according to the 14th Amendment. Equal Protection Clause. So anyway, why do you need special laws for specially designated groups of people, whether they be gay, straight, trans, brown, white, black, women, males? Nope. Nope. You don't need to make special laws. You just simply need to follow the law. Case closed. Yep. One wreck of a train ride. What does that mean? Trying to be funny, publisher? It's going to be one heck of a train ride. It should be exciting. Yep. Anyway, we'll see what happens on the Twitter issue. But Joni Ernst, the Iowa Republicans' decision increases the likelihood that Hegseth will have enough votes to be confirmed as the defense secretary. I'll be supporting President Trump's pick for Secretary of Defense, she said on WHO, the most famous radio station from Iowa, one where John Wayne, not John Wayne, where Ronald Reagan worked at. Ronald Reagan worked there at WHO. 1040. I used to listen to WHO in Des Moines. Yep. Her decision dramatically increased the likelihood that he'll get enough votes. Yep. He can afford to lose no more than 3 Republican votes. Only a handful of Republican votes may be in play. Susan Collins, John Curtis, Utah, Mitch McConnell, Lisa Murkowski, Todd Young of Indiana and John Curtis of Utah will vote for him. That leaves Collins, McConnell, and Murkowski as outliers. And without those 3 votes, he still gets in. Yep. Anyway, so today's hearing was farcical in so many respects. Pete Hegseth carried himself quite well, but they went after him in a major way, just repeating ad hominem attacks with no basis whatsoever, and he just defeated them all, pushed them all aside with aplomb. Well done by Pete Hegseth. So, Mr. Secretary, if you're looking for an Assistant Secretary or Undersecretary of Defense for Africa, I am available. That's a job I would take, which would involve me traveling to Africa frequently on the taxpayer dime because that's part of my job. Happy to do it. So meanwhile, rumors are out there that a Polish town invites Elon Musk to buy its castle for his European headquarters. Oh, that's cool. Check this out. Let me see if this is a German castle that was stolen from Germans. It looks like a German castle. Let me see. Glodwick. Let me see where this is at. I can tell you if it's in Silesia or Pomerania. Maps. Okay. Because the Polish name, I have no idea where the hell that's at. Oh yeah, it's definitely yeah, ethnic German town, yeah. No, it's actually Polish. I'm sorry, that's beyond where Germany. It's just beyond the German border where this thing's at. So yeah, so the mayor of Glogowek, they posted an invitation for him to buy their castle. Wow, why won't this blow up? Come on, this is annoying. Oh, come on, I'm trying to blow it up for you guys. It looks beautiful. It looks like it's built in the Baroque style, but here we go. Let's take a look at it here. You guys can see it before I wrap up. So they want Elon Musk to buy that castle. That looks good. I'd buy it. Wonder what it costs to maintain. The building on the left clearly is more modern, but the castle, it's more like a Schloss. Although that Soviet-style apartment building that's located in the upper left-hand corner would need to be demolished and get it away from the land. But there you go. So it's just outside of Upper Silesia is where that's located, just kilometers from Upper Silesia. So it could have been German, but yeah, okay. That town briefly served as Poland's capital back in the 17th century. So they wanted him to buy that. So Elon Musk is all over the news. If he's not making news, people are making news with his name. So there you go, folks. All right, I'm going to wrap it up here. 30 minutes. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you tomorrow. If you are on my other channel, look for a video coming out about pit latrines in South Africa. That'll be coming up shortly. Have a good night. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. Women despise other women. What's this? Tell me again, what value white liberal women add to politics? Well, Joni Ernst is a Republican, not a liberal. So anyway, cheers, everybody. Thanks a lot. Have a good night. Appreciate you being here. For my closing, where is it at? I'm in the different profile. This one's for this channel. So cheers, everybody.